All right, with that said, Martin, let's get right to it. Now, a twist in this Brock Purdy situation. This is one of the bigger games of the weekend. Cincinnati Bengals traveling west to play the San Francisco 49ers. Big game. Both teams need it. Cincinnati has been struggling all year. Now they're 3-3. They're trying to keep their season alive. Joe Burrow off the bye is the healthiest he's been all year. Says he's feeling 100%. And then on the other side, San Francisco has lost its last 2 games. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, their quarterback, Brock Purdy, was concussed on Monday night in their loss then. But now they're saying it looks like he's probably going to play. He was cleared today, practiced today, but he's listed, I guess, still as questionable. And there was talk, was it Charvarius Ward?
It was.
Who was asked, one of the defensive backs for the Niners, was asked about Sam Darnold filling in for Brock Purdy. And Rob G, why don't you get on the mic and tell us what Charvarius said?
That's right. Charvarius Ward, speaking to Mike Silver, the San Francisco Chronicle, asked about it, said, quote, "I expect us to win, same as I do with Brock. Darnold's a seasoned vet. He's played 6 years. He came in the NFL with me. I expect him to come in and sling that mother effer around. Ain't no drop-off. We good."
Okay. Now, I'm in these streets. So word in these streets is that my guest, Martin Weiss, thinks there's something strange or interesting about that quote, and I want to hear what that is. Is that true?
Oh, look, I'm just saying this. He said he expects to win. Charvarius Ward said, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no drop-off. We're good. And if we have seen anything out of the Kyle Shanahan system, it is that when quarterbacks of a certain level, like above the quarterback Mendoza line, right? You have to be good enough, all right? Now I'm talking about your C.J. Beathard, who's a career backup, or Nick Mullins, career backup.
Brian Hoyer.
Career backup, you know what I'm saying? Like
Trey Lance,
hopefully he can have a career as a backup, all right? We'll see. But if you can cross the Mendoza line for quarterbacks of can he play enough, Kyle Shanahan will then turn you into a winner, all right? So the thing is, Sam Darnold was a highly touted out of college, coming out of USC, top 5 pick in the NFL draft, in a quarterback-rich draft, right? So if, in fact, that Sam Darnold can come in and still move the ball effectively, and I'm not saying that Brock Purdy hasn't been, but if Sam Darnold...
You're definitely not saying that.
No, I'm not saying... This is not a Brock Purdy knock. Right? This is more of an assessment of the job that he is asked to do, right? I don't know if Brock Purdy can come out and play like Patrick Mahomes. I don't think he can.
He can't. No,
I'm just saying. But Chris, he's never asked to do it, right? You know what I'm saying?
Nobody thinks he can do that. Nor should he.
So
honestly, who can?
Fair enough. All right,
because I'm looking at every other quarterback I look at in the league, including Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, have some ups and downs.
Sure.
Mahomes is the only one that's like, every day, I know I'm getting a great or very good performance from this dude.
Okay, so maybe Mahomes again is the top of the mountain, as you know what I'm saying. But maybe I should. All right, so like a Kirk Cousins, right? Kirk Cousins, who's top of the league in several passing categories, but his team is not that great. He's had a couple interceptions. I don't expect Brock Purdy to play like I would expect a Kirk Cousins to play day in, day out, because he's not asked to do the same types of things. But if Sam Darnold can come in and move that offense like the way that we saw that offense moving earlier in the year, when they couldn't help themselves from scoring 30 points a game, then I think it's the final argument is over with. It's like it's the system, not the guy, especially when you consider where Sam Darnold has been in his career. So I just think it's a great opportunity. But again, that's if he plays. I know that Brock Purdy has been cleared, but this season we have yet to see somebody go into and out of concussion protocol in the same week. So we'll see how that plays out. But if, in fact, Sam Darnold comes in, moves the ball effectively, doesn't turn it over, then I think it's the final argument
that's
behind.
a problem with him too.
It's a problem with Jimmy G as well. When you see him go to Oakland, or go to Vegas rather, he's now leading the league in our top 5 in the league in interceptions, and he hasn't even played in 2 games, right? When 2 available games. So I think that's what my thing is. If Charvarius Ward is telling me there's no drop off between Sam Darnold and Brock Purdy,
don't be so naive. What do you expect Charvarius Ward to be like? So Charvarius, what do you think Darnold's going to give you filling in for Brock? Yes. Darnold? I mean, y'all seen him play.
No.
Y'all saw him with the Jets. Y'all saw him with the Panthers. The dude has been a bust. The dude has been horrific. Do you expect him to say that?
No.
We got no chance. We are done. We are all on our knees praying that Brock Purdy plays Sunday. No. Is that what you expect?
No, but
or do you expect him to try to gas up the quarterback that's going to be playing for them in a game that they desperately need to win? Martin, it could be you or me going out there on Sunday behind center for Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. And Charvarius Ward would be like, hey, I think he's ready. We going to win. We going to win this game. That is cliche. That is player talk. That's all it is. Look. That's all. Now, I mean, it's not a slight on Brock Purdy because he would say it about anybody. When Brock came in, they gave him the same love. All right? They are going to take whoever plays quarterback for them and go try to win. Now, let me say this about Purdy, because you one of those naysayers.
One of those.
You're
right. Those with eyes.
I'm not going to really, because he's one of the league leaders in tight window throws, completions, and he's the second in the league in passer rating. Look, anybody might be able to come in there and I won't say anybody, but you know what I mean. A decent quality quarterback might be able to come in there and be serviceable. And maybe Sam Darnold will be serviceable. Jimmy G won big games for them. But Jimmy G never was second in the league in passer rating like Brock Purdy. Jimmy G was never second in the league in yards per attempt like Brock Purdy. Jimmy G didn't put up numbers that were like elite numbers. Jimmy G just won. And his numbers were okay. He won. Brock Purdy's numbers, 11 touchdowns, only like 5 quarterbacks have thrown for more, and he's got 3 interceptions. And 2 of those interceptions, Martin Weiss, came after he was concussed. I mean, we do have to take that into consideration. He was actually having a good game until he was concussed.
Sure.
So we have not seen Brock Purdy look bad. Jimmy G was solid. Won 70% of his games in San Francisco, but he would make the bad play here or there. Wouldn't really make the big play as often as you'd like. Sam Darnold, even dating back to USC and maybe even high school, was reckless. Good quarterback at USC, got drafted 3rd, as you said, but occasionally threw that ball that made you go, oh my gosh, why'd he do that? That's what Brock Purdy doesn't do. So Darnold may play solid if he plays, but he may also make that 1 or 2 plays that Purdy wouldn't that could cost you a game. And so I'm just saying, man, you owe Brock Purdy an apology.
I don't owe Brock Purdy an apology. You on this
bandwagon of dissing him like some others that I've had to school. You know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly who you're talking about. But no, there's the bottom line of it is this. All right? Brock Purdy is better than Jimmy G. All right? Yes. There you go. You have it there. But if Sam Darnold comes in and was able to I know Brock Purdy, he probably will play, so this might be a moot conversation in general. But if Sam Darnold comes in and wins 4 or 5 games in a row, then the argument is done. Jimmy G won 70% of his games. Got it. Brock Purdy has only lost 2 games. Okay? Got it. Understood. Sam Darnold, if you can turn Sam Darnold into a guy who's winning 70% of his games.
Sam Darnold went 4-2. Hold on. He went 4-2 in Carolina last year with Steve Wilkes.
And that ain't
no Christian McCaffrey.
But that still ain't 72%. And
well, here's the other thing with Purdy. Jimmy G last year, they were playing well, right? Averaging 24 points a game.
sure.
Trey Lance, brief sample size, of course, 18 points a game with the Niners. Brock Purdy, in his 12 games, 31 points a game. That is the highest in history for a guy who's played 20 or more games or something like that. So he is the thing. You're right that he's in a good system. He's got a good play caller. He's got very good players around him. I'm not denying that. But you also have to admit his numbers are not just pedestrian.
No.
Like, he's not in there just winning games and his numbers are so-so. He's actually putting up great numbers, and that's why I think you'd have to give him credit. Because nobody dissed Patrick Mahomes, and I get it. Mahomes does things that are is a minimum of 10 starts, I told you. But, yeah, Purdy has the highest scoring points per game of any starter with a minimum of 10 starts over the last 2 seasons. Not in history, in the last 2 seasons. But Mahomes had Travis Kelce, who was a Pro Bowler before Mahomes. Tyreek Hill, who's a Pro Bowler before Mahomes. Andy Reid, great play caller. And Kareem Hunt when he was at the height of his powers. And nobody said, oh, he's just got great players around him. We get it. The eye test showed you he
That's
was
why, Chris, because we were watching Patrick Mahomes do things we had never seen before.
And Patrick Mahomes is, in my view, the best we've ever seen. But that Brock Purdy's not on that level. But I think he is a good quarterback. And, like you said, we'll see if Purdy or Darnold plays on Sunday.